We've been telling Lockie to come down to town for a few weeks now. And eventually, obviously, this is the weekend Land and Skin was launching. No one was that busy. And we were like, okay, this one works. Like, let's do it. Lockie'd flown down. We'd booked a lovely dinner at a restaurant, gone out, had dinner, gone for drinks at the next place. The group was so big. It was so hard to get in anywhere on a Friday night. But
it was like 12 to 15 of us.
Yeah. Had drinks at another place. It's probably 11 o'clock, about 11:45. That place shuts. Like, okay, got to move on. So we go to a bowling alley. I will not name the bowling alley. But we decided to go to a bowling alley that was just nearby. And we're like, oh, that sounds great. And get some drinks from the bar. We can get a couple of bowling lanes and just go bowling. Sounds great. Our group was maybe 11, 12 people probably at this point. When we get to the bowling alley, they only have one lane available. Sucks, but we're like, you know what? We'll all team up, play. You're really wondering right now how this story about a lovely evening of bowling turns into flashing lights. But trust me, it really does get there. And also, I really do want to point out, everyone was pretty damn sober. I was shockingly sober. I think there were a couple of people that rocked up later in our group who were a bit more drunk, but they weren't even really involved in the story because we'd just been trying to find a bar for so long that by the time we found a bar, everyone was like, okay, cool, I can go to sleep now. But anyway, got this lane, and then as we're kind of like all getting drinks at the bar, waiting for it to get set up, we've got one friend who is a bit of a jokester, and he sees the lane next to us has got someone sitting on the couch, just kind of waiting, and notices they're not actually bowling. So he goes up, he's like, oh, can I have a bowl while we wait for our lane? And the girl sitting down is like, yeah, absolutely, like, go for it, like, grab it. So he picks up the bowling ball. All of a sudden, this guy comes around the corner and is like, what the F do you think you're doing? Put that down. Like, the language and the aggression was incredible, insane. Nick immediately puts the ball down. He's like, I'm sorry, she said it was okay, and goes to sit down on the couch because their bowling alley, we basically have like a shared couch area. He sits down on the couch. The guy's like, and while you're at it, you can get the F off that couch and get out of here. And then
it was very aggressive.
It was immediate aggression, like crazy aggression. This guy had crazy in his eyes. Anyway, then everyone's like, okay, cool. We're just waiting for our lane to get set up properly. So we're all set up at the bar, like grabbing drinks and stuff. This guy marches over to the bar, like pulls Nick up. I didn't hear what got said at that point, but effectively, from what I heard later, he threatened to kill him unless he got out of there. And then Nick
like,
literally...
bro, just trying to have a bowl on a Friday night.
Once again, our group moved away and was like, you need to calm down, dude. But anyway, de-escalated it. This guy went back, finished their bowling. At this point, we've now got our lane. Everyone's sitting on the couches around our lane and also their lane. They've finished up their game at this point. They're grabbing their bags. They're going, the aggressive guy and the girl he was with. Fresh is just sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
Doing what Fresh does, which is looking like a stunned goldfish with a smile on his face, just looking around, just enjoying life.
Yeah.
Literally, he's like a harmless little puppy dog just sitting on a couch.
He is a puppy
sipping
dog.
on his little straw drink. Anyway, at this point, the guy, as he's walking past the couch to go out, just winks at Fresh for no reason. Really, really weird. And Fresh, who has missed, I'm pretty sure, everything that's gone on to this point, literally just looks up and just like gives him a little wave, like just waves at him. and it's like, yeah, hey dude.
I think
like,
at this point, Fresh actually thought the guy was perhaps a viewer.
Yeah. I think Fresh thought that the guy maybe knew who he was because this guy was maybe like 30. It like just gives him a little wave. The guy walks up to Fresh, leans in like nose to nose distance, like really in his face, puts a hand on each cheek, and then just starts slapping back and forward on each cheek on Fresh. And at this point, everyone at the couch is like, you need, like literally pushes him away from Fresh because you don't, like, that's literally assault, just walking up to someone and slapping him in the face, pushes him away from Fresh, but like, doesn't hit him or do anything aggressive like that.
No.
Pushes him away. Is like,
it was just such a shock. It was like, it's Fresh.
It's Fresh.
Like,
what is this kid couldn't have to fly.
The most docile person I've ever met. Yeah.
Crazy. And was like, you need to get away from him, and move him away. And at this point, like we were shouting at him, like, you need to go because like before. Yeah. Anyway, so at that point, security's come over and they've grabbed the guy, and we've been like, and we're literally like, he needs to get out of here. He just slapped our friend in the face repeatedly. Like, what are you doing? This isn't okay. He's already like tried to cause something earlier.
Yeah.
Can he go? And then at this point, security's like holding him there. We're like, he needs to go now. And then this guy has got a glass in his hand and all of a sudden just piffs it, hits Lannon straight in the forehead and
like in the hairline.
in the head. The glass also ricochets off and cuts maybe 3 or 4 other people around us, including Ilsa. And all of a sudden I turn and Lannon has, because head wounds are crazy.
Yeah.
Blood coming all down the side of his face, like all down the side of his, there was so much blood. It was insane.
Yeah.
At this point, security is like, oh, okay. Now, they take him out.
Yeah.
But also I see them more like just escorting him out, like a hand on his back, like moving him in that direction. I was like, do you see what he just did? And the manager's gone with them and the manager's trying to tell our group to sit down. At this point, I've realized that I was effectively dead sober at this point, and I could tell there are a lot of people who are obviously they've just watched one of their friends get hit and another one get glassed in the face, are very agitated and probably need to they're probably not the most level head for dealing with this situation.
It was just shock though. It happened so quick.
Shock.
Happened
so
like within
shock.
the period of like this whole thing happened within 2 minutes.
And you watch any of your friends suddenly bleeding out of your head, you're going to get agitated. So I was like pushing everyone back. I was like, everyone needs to go sit down. I walked up with the manager and I was like, we're calling the police. He's just glassed our friend in the head, slapped the other one, and he's bleeding everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot let him go because they're like taking him to the exit. And she's like, this is my job. I'm handling it. And I was like, no. Like, you can't let him go. She's like, no, we're not, but you need to like go down. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to stand here. I just want to make sure this guy doesn't leave.
Yeah.
Because he's committed a crime.
Yeah.
And then, anyway, as I'm waiting there talking to someone else who's come up, he's like, hey man, I saw the whole thing. Don't worry. Like we saw what happened. And I was like, cheers, man. Appreciate it. Cops should be here soon. Anyway, cop response time. Great.
Amazing.
But anyway, I turned around from talking to this guy, security guard standing alone, not doing anything. The manager is by herself. I'm like, where's the guy gone? And they're like, and she's like, he's gone off. Like he's just walked off. And I was like, you didn't hold him? And they were like, anyway, this time police walk in and they're like, where's the guy who got glass? I'm like, he's inside. And he's like, and where's the guy who did it? And I'm like, they just let him go.
Yeah.
And they were like, what? They let him go? I was like, yes. And it was like, what does he look like? Anyway, gave him a rough description. Me and one other person sprint out and we managed to spot him about a block away hailing a cab. Anyway, we like call the cops over. Cops run over. They grab him.
Yeah.
And
oh my God, this is me hearing the story for the first time too, because I was inside at this point.
Yeah.
I actually didn't even see everything that happened. I was like picking up a bowling ball or something, and then someone was like, Grace, and like shook my shoulder. I turned around and like saw it happening, and then I saw Lannon and like one side of his face was just covered in blood. So I was just helping. I was like literally sponging the blood off Lannon's face when all of this was happening.
Yeah, actually crazy. But anyway.
But they caught him.
Oh my God. I remember going inside though, and I was like, I drink a lot of coffee. I was like literally, my hand was just wobbling from the adrenaline that was going through me at that point. Because, you see your friend get hurt, you see the guy who did it almost get away, chasing after someone with the police. Anyway, eventually they got the guy. I think they took him to the station, and then they came back in and spent the next literally 3 to 4 hours taking statements from all of us.
Yeah.
It was great. We lliterally had to just sit there for like 2 hours, which as should happen with any serious assault. They wrote down all our details for the people who were more like, at the forefront, like for Fresh, Lannon, the people who actually got assaulted. They took insanely comprehensive statements.
Yeah.
I reckon it was probably
really
a 2-minute
impressed.
incident. They were talking to them for probably 2 hours each, like crazy. Anyway, that Lannon's totally fine. Eventually this all probably happened about 12:15. About 2:30 a.m. was when we were probably leaving, and the medics came and kind of checked out Lannon and Ilsa, made sure they were all okay, and then everyone kind of went home for the night. Lannon's totally fine. Ilsa's totally fine. Everyone involved is totally fine. We don't know what happened yet with the other person involved.
He'll be charged, I think.
Yeah. And apparently we're chatting to the cops. If he has any priors, he'll go to jail. Pretty clear cut who the aggressor and the non-aggressors in that scenario were.
It was
just
completely
crazy.
unprovoked.
It's one of those stories that you tell though, right? And I almost am like, you almost feel defensive being like, no, like literally